on Tuesday. So sellers were in control, and then of course on Friday, sellers were in control. And in this region, we left a fair value gap. Sellers were in control, right? So sellers are constantly in control in this region. It's what we call a supply chain, right? It's a supply chain because if we just take a look here, we see this region is being, we see heavy pressure to the downside. We see aggressive buyers failing. Now, I want to try and translate that into today's price action because I got a question about today's price action. I'm going to break it down. So yesterday, I'm just going to quickly skim over yesterday's trade as well because yesterday's trade I thought was not very good for me. I broke one of my rules, and I'm going to tell you which rule it was. So this was the level that I had. So how do I form this key level, right? So this was a 15-minute fair value gap. So again, I'm going to keep this nice and interactive. Now, I took a short from here. So the short trade was something like this. It didn't have any follow through, right? It was okay in terms of execution, but of course I exited early because the trade didn't go in my favor. So I exited before the full loss happened. Now, someone tell me, right? I'm going to make this interactive. So I want everyone to kind of chip in and give their ideas. What was wrong with trading at this key level? Who can give me an idea? Who can unmute themselves and give me the answer? Hey, uh, it was at the weekly opening price. Yeah, it's exactly that, right? So this was the problem. We were at the weekly opening price, therefore, it shouldn't have been a long trade or a short trade. Now, what is interesting is this. So this is just a quick lesson. So if you're trading near the weekly opening price, don't basically. So don't. So a quick tip is if you have a POI, right, that's touching the weekly opening price, like here for example, don't trade. Don't trade at that zone. Too choppy. That's my advice. Now, in terms of a POI, which I wanted to draw everyone's attention to, is actually from last Friday, which held today. So what made this a good POI? So Thursday's low got swept. So this is like ICT basics. I know a lot of you come from an ICT background or whatever. You'll be able to see this in real action. So this here is this yellow box you see here is actually a liquidity sweep, right? So this is what makes it a good POI, right? So the POI is the last candle before the fair value gap. So it's this, and this over here. This is the last candle before the fair value gap. So what we're seeing is we're seeing a nice kind of rejection from here. This was yesterday. So overnight, we had a very, very aggressive sell-off, right? So the overnight session broke this. So this is what we call a flip zone. These are my favorite types of zones, right? Is everyone following